In today's video, I am thrilled to continue our conversation with Dr. Pauline Bork, who's a researcher, advocate, coach, and powerful voice in selective mutism community. You might already know her as the author of Vocal, which is a transformative guide for families, or through her work as a founder of Vocal Reality and the Selective Mutism Foundation in Canada. If you missed our first video together, make sure to check it out. But today we are going deeper. We are going to understand how you can apply this, and we are going to be looking at teenagers. So here is Pauline. So welcome back, Pauline. It was so lovely to see you.
Thank you for having me back.
Now, it's so important that people realize that anything that we talk about is going to be down in the description below. So, but a lot of people have asked me, but Anna, or Pauline in your case, how does the video self-modeling method looks in practice? So can you help us understand what do people have to do and how would you present it?
Well, okay. So as I mentioned from the last interview and in my book, that video self-modeling is very helpful for breaking somebody's mutism identity and seeing themselves speaking for the first time with a speech target that they have never spoken with before. So in that case, it will help people who have been mute for a long time, even older youth. But the tricky part is how do you motivate or get the, let's say, teenagers to use or to participate in video self-modeling? Because that's something they would be terrified. Just the idea of speaking with somebody, if it's not real, using video self-modeling. So I think that's
that's self-modeling. So
yes.
The step is the child that is going to be videoed. So it's not for real, and answering specific questions that you as the parent would ask. And then what we do is we put another person that your child has never spoken with asking those questions. So we are making it looking reality, but is not reality.
Exactly.
So it's like the two things. So the people were just saying, how do I do that? So
yes. So let's recap from the last interviews. Video self-modeling is like make-believe, providing target behavior that you can see. Hopefully you can believe in it. So we create videos with a child with selective mutism, let's say who cannot speak to teacher at all, inside the classroom. Of course, make sure it's empty so the child can hopefully feel safe and start speaking with the parent. And then we will video record the child answer questions to the parent. Without moving the camera or the phone, now cell phone, the child and the parent will leave, and then the teacher will sit where the parents were sitting at, asking the same question, pretending the child is still sitting there, and pause in between, nodding, pretending it's the teacher is responding to the child's answer. And then after that, we merge two videos. We take away the parent who's speaking with the child, and then we place the teacher in from the second video to make it look like the child is speaking to the teacher.
Absolutely. But that has not happened. Yeah.
Exactly. It's not real.
We are conditioning.
And all the kids will know it's not real. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So it is one kind of exposure therapy by itself, video self-modeling, because some kids cannot just do it right away, right? They might have to voice record first, try to get used to hearing their own voice in the audio recording, the sound, and then slowly, gradually, they become braver and then doing the video. So there's a lot of steps going slowly to help them ease in, because especially like the older one, teenagers, they might want to feel in control. They don't want parents to do things for them. and they are the techie people, right? They are so much better with technology.
Yeah.
I know a couple of teenagers. One of them actually started learning how to do CapCut herself.
Yes, that's so nice.
Yes,
That's
yes,
something which is free, CapCut. There is so many things that
exactly.
you can do so they're in control. And this is one of the things that my audience was asking. Well, how do we present it to a
Mm-hmm.
teenager? That obviously
Yeah.
they're aware of their difficulties. For me as a therapist,
Mm-hmm.
even using the brave muscle method that I always say to them, you need to feel comfortable within your body, but it's the
Exactly.
preparation of the next step. They're not necessarily talking, but they're desensitizing themselves of having their recorded voice heard either in front of them or not. So how do you present it to teenagers, or how could you?
Well, teenagers like to be in charge, right? They don't
Yeah.
want to be. You have to get them on board. Like you can make them do things that's fun. For example, it doesn't have to do video self-modeling first, because this is exposure therapy. It will be so
Mhm.
hard to run before you even learn how to walk.
Yeah.
So maybe you could ask the teenagers, oh, can you maybe um, record yourself, only yourself, saying hello or good morning, or ask a question to the teacher.
Hmm.
But if you're too scared to see your own self in the video,
Hmm.
change it, make it into a avatar, or funny faces on top of the face, or
Hmm.
funny voices, because some of them have said, oh, I don't want to hear my own voice, it sounds
Yeah.
weird, it's scary. So they have a lot of fun doing that, and
Yeah.
they're much better than parents at doing all that, right?
Yeah.
So they could mask themselves so much that it doesn't even look like themselves, or they can even even their voice, right? If they could have a Mickey Mouse voice over it, Donald Duck, or you know what I mean? Like
So
many
what you're
kids.
trying to
Yeah.
explain is everything is done in steps and everything starts from where your child or your teenager is at.
Right,
Let's
exactly.
remember that if you've been following me for a while, you know the selective mutism is more than the fear of talking, but it's having your voice heard, using your voice, even though you're not there. Some kids and some teenagers don't even like the idea of somebody hearing their voice and they're not there. So it's way
Mhm.
more than just the communication. So
Yes,
when they're ready, they can do all sorts of steps. That could be, I am, I don't know, I'm a presenter and I'm filming something and I'm describing so the person doesn't necessarily see you. You can create an avatar. You can do a
exactly.
voiceover, but it's the desensitization and they would lead to eventually creating that movie that is yet not real to condition the brain to think that could possibly happen. And from my neuroscientist point of view, is nothing has happened. I feel uncomfortable, but I'm still safe. That
Mhm.
is the objective. But something
Exactly.
that I picked up from reading the book, which is vocal and is incredible that has been translated in many languages, is that you never present this as A, the solution, or B, as a surprise. You always explain the reality of it. And that's what I love, that you
Mhm.
understand their difficulties. And this is part of the desensitization of eventually using your voice when you're ready and you're happy to have your voice heard. So, and you would say, we're making this so you can see that that feels okay.
Mhm.
Right. So it's not like
Exactly.
I'm making it and well, we're so there is no forcing. It's really the participation, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I when I wrote the book, which is based on the research study that I conducted, right? It's a real story, right? The method and all that. I did not realize at the time that just from reading the book, parents might have different struggles because I'm not there for them. When I did the study, or whenever I use the method to help coaching parents using the method, they were never alone doing it, and that's why I'm so grateful that we found each other so I can explain further
Yeah.
There's so many little steps before, or many creative way to help your child. Because selective mutism is the phobia of being seen and heard speaking.
Yeah.
So we can take away one component or even both, so then your child can work through slowly. For example, one of the activities that I always suggest parents to do, and they all loved it, is in person. If the child cannot speak, even during a play day, why don't you use a little paper cup, like telephone, connecting string to each other, and then they should be able to make sound without being seen speaking. Like, it doesn't have to be a speech. It could be a silly sound. You got to start where they are able to, right? And make it fun. So the same thing for video self-modeling. As long as your child feel like they're in charge and they are having a good time, then they won't be so anticipating, focus on the fear, right? So I hope,
and I
so much
love
more.
that.
Yeah.
I love the fun. I would say using the family dynamic approach, that's obviously what I teach you through the Steps to Brave Talking, is you as the parents, you have to do the same. You've got to put yourself as videoing yourself or, using this technique, because it's not just about your child. We're not just focusing on your child, but everybody's in it. But Pauline is really keen to hear from you. If you bought the book, what have you tried? But I know that a lot of people always want to ask questions. So if you want to know more, if you want to ask a question, you will find a link in the description below and you'll end up in a list. And when Pauline organizes a free Q&A, you'll be alerted and, then you can ask questions directly, because there is nothing better than, being able to ask, us as expert directly. Keep following us. Keep watching. You will find all the links to Instagrams or all the socials in the description below. There will be another interview, and because Pauline is constantly doing research and trying new things, and we will talk about virtual reality. Please feel free to share with anybody that you feel might learn from this, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. And if you have any question, both me and Pauline will be able to answer. Thank you so much for being here with us. It was so lovely to catch up with you, Pauline.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you.